Chapter 13. An Ascension. James had never been so happy. It wasn't just that he got his dick sucked. He was in love and felt every emotion at once. It was overwhelming but joyous, and Em felt exactly the same way. If that wasn't enough, after the week together, the couple began to float, literally. None of that metaphor stuff. They were now an inch from the ceiling, and looked at each other as they shared the same thought. Without words, they proceeded to the elevator. When it reached the top, they grabbed their parasols and headed into the sky. Their smiles lit up the night like newly formed stars. They continued their decisions without speech, and it was agreed that they should fly over the world to see if anyone else in the world had survived. The ashen landscape was still more beautiful than any of the silver in the rest of Iowa. They laughed when they saw the truck James had murdered. Police tape still encased the scene, but word was that Detective Jans was going to pin it on one of the exploded robots. James saw the plan again and pointed it out to Emily, who was surprised by its existence, but even still remained as happy as ever. The volcanoes at night were somehow even more surreal than during the daylight. The lava glow filled the couple's eyes and illuminated how they truly felt, bursting at the seams with happiness. They flew on as the moon set and the sun rose. For days they flew over every inch of the earth. Mostly lava and ash, some ash and lava. There was even some oceans that barely existed. The Atlantic was now a puddle, and the Pacific a mere drop. They got excited when they saw regular land again, but it was just Iowa. Conveniently enough, they needed food and water and rest, so they returned to Emily's palace and ate, drank, and slept with the robots. The robots brought them what they needed. Robots don't eat or drink or sleep. The next day, James told Em about the dream he had about New Zealand. She used her knowledge of the world to point them in the right direction. And after a few more days of flying, they arrived. Exhausted from the journey, they landed and headed straight for what looked like a restaurant. They entered and Emily asked, "Where is this? What's the name of this town? We searched the entire earth and almost didn't find you." A man at the counter issued, "Welcome, this is Tapo. Originally Tapanoia Tia. Translated, it means the great cloak of Tia. Maybe that's why you couldn't find us." Everyone began laughing. The joke wasn't even that funny. But someone that was drinking milk shot it out of their nose, then another person spit out their food. James and Emily were so tired that it was understandable that they were laughing so hard, but not everyone else. And it didn't stop. They just kept laughing. Was it awkwardness from knowing there was actually other people alive in the world? Or was it because the odd chain of events continued? A man had a heart attack and fell dead on the spot, but the laughing continued. Strange mouth noises occurred sporadically, and farts trumpeted out of butts like the final concerto of man, and the laughing never stopped. One by one, the town of Tapo showed up to the restaurant, and one by one, everyone in New Zealand dropped dead. It turned out there was in fact a God, and God had plans for the Matriarchy to stay around for as many years as any patriarchy had. That's the end of the book.